Count Noctilus, the dreaded vampiric captain of the seas, commander of an armada of an undead fleet known as the Dread Fleet, a scourge to many, known far and wide throughout the many port cities of the Warhammer world. The Count, truly as famous, or rather infamous, as any pirate lord, living or dead. His history is bathed in the blood of many pirate crews and sunken ships. But many do not know that the Count lived another life, or rather, unlife. While we do not know anything about the Count's mortal life, we do know that he has another name. For Count Noctilus is actually part of the infamous von Carstein bloodline. Nyklaus von Carstein, as he was once known, made his home in the lands of Sylvania, as much as the rest of the von Carstein bloodline. He, unlike the stereotypical von Carsteins, was not interested in the constant backstabbing in order to gain control of the undead imperial province. Nyklaus wished to make a name for himself in his own right, not as a member of the ruling family of a petty province. His eyes turned to the seas, for the seas were the gate to the galleon's graveyard, a plane of existence where the dead of the seas would roam. To claim the power of this realm and to rule the seas, Nyklaus knew that he must leave the confines of Sylvania. While many vampires have no problem picking up what little belongings are needed for their survival and to start anew elsewhere, Nyklaus had grown rather fond of his castle, his home, and thus was unwilling to leave his home behind. Nyklaus became a master wielder of the winds of magic, and was able to cast a mighty spell. This spell translocated the mighty castle to the seas. There, the wreckage of many long, sunken ships would be fused to the castle, forming a dark hull. His castle was now his ship, from where he would command his now growing undead armada. The Blood Reaver, as it was called, was now the flagship of the Dread Fleet. To symbolize the forging of his new path, Nyklaus changed his name, shedding any memory of the von Carsteins. He was now known as Count Noctilus. For years, the Count and his new, ever-growing Dread Fleet would be a scourge across the vast seas. Those sailors who died in the open oceans, or by the might of the Dread Fleet, would find themselves in the domain of the galleon's graveyard, ready to be summoned by their Dreadmaster to serve. The Count would amass a mighty army, with which he forged alliances with Chaos Dwarves, Tomb Kings, and other mighty vampires. Noctilus would also resurrect dead Skaven to further increase his hordes. Noctilus and his Dread Fleet would raid countless port cities, even the famed pirate haven Sartosa, where he killed the family of the captain Jago Roth, beginning a feud as brutal as any other. Roth would raid the Tomb King city of Zandri in an effort to get enough funds to hire a mercenary fleet to destroy the vampire once and for all. This, however, only served to enrage the reigning Tomb King, King Amonhotep, who then sought Noctilus to engage in an alliance and to seek revenge on Jago Roth. In the space of a few years, as the feud between the Count and Roth grew, so did their mighty fleets, where two fleets ruled the seas: the Dread Fleet under the Count and the Grand Alliance under Jago Roth. We'll be discussing these two factions in depth in future videos. Noctilus would eventually find his end at the hands of Jago Roth, whose sheer determination and hatred for the vampire sent him on a quest that would last for years. But eventually, Roth would find himself at the entrance to the Galleon's graveyard, and on numerous occasions, fending off the Dread Fleet, heading to the source of power in the Galleon's graveyard, where Roth sacrificed himself not only to destroy Count Noctilus, but the Dread Fleet as a whole. And with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our lore video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all again very, very soon.